Hello all. Let's see, this is gonna be a gruesome one, I think. Let's see. Actually, in Ted's view, a lot of things had gone right for him, to the detriment of many enemy soldiers and civilians. Ted was not delusional. He knew these were crimes. This was not a war, but crimes. Not war they were fighting. This was terrorism. And even those few sympathetic to their cause would admit it was as such. So what's the next step? Ted asked. Have we been attacked by tanks yet? Yeah. Irving asked simply. Yes. On more than one occasion so far, Ted replied. But they have been repelled with or destroyed with AT weapons. You've taken out some tanks? Some tanks? Irving asked. A few of them. Just one, sir. Sir. Ted nodded. Irving thought for a moment how he would have loved a tank or two on his side. The closest to tanks they had were the armored vehicles they had stolen, which were mostly police issue, not really fit for a war, more fit for taking down protesters. At least they had real guns on them instead of water cannons with riot control vehicles. Most riot control vehicles. There had been plenty of bloody protests in the USZ since the end of the last World War, and the government was trying to move, trying to find less lethal ways of dealing with these incidents. Protesters. Because dead protesters just lead to a lot of embarrassment, lawsuits, and naturally, dead protesters. And so on. And naturally, more protests. Government crackdown on protests results in more protests. Boy, don't beat all. You'd think that people would have learned by now. And if you try to shut someone up, people pay more attention to them. Let's see. We need to tell these people to back off. Irving said. Time to get our hands dirty. Time. Ted muttered. It was a little late to say that their hands were dirtied long before this happened. They'd sometimes wondered what it was like to have clean hands, free of blood, that never caused the death or suffering of another human being. Ted supposed it felt good. He couldn't remember what it was like. Seemed like his whole life was getting his hands dirty. the hostages. Ted guessed. Yep. Unfortunately. It's time to instigate that unfortunate bit of theater. Instigate that bloody bit of theater. Irving said rather poetically. Ted didn't like the way Irving talked sometimes. It was like he sometimes talked so poetically when he would have been a lot less annoying for him to speak plainly. Like a guy just say what you mean. You want to take those civilians, put them on camera, and execute them. Then say you're going to execute a few more of the enemy back off. Want me to do it? Ted asked Irving. Ted figured might as well be Dirty Hands Ted, the wanted terrorist, the guy with a death sentence in Argentina. There you go. That's the right way of saying it, I think. Oh, thank you, Google. The guy with the death sentence in Argentina. Time to who liquidated the hostages. Okay. Sorry, Ted. This one's on me. Irving said. Like, it's time I showed the world that I'm not some chicken shit. Didn't work. They didn't know. I'm an evil bastard. Yeah. Ted replied. Ted went with Irving. They walked to where the little studio had been set up. There were 2 cameras, 2 cameramen, and a few reporters, one of whom, a pretty young lady, who had been sobbing and having a hysterical breakdown since her captivity began. It was clearly a woman in over her head. The male reporter was doing a bit better. He was apparently a soldier before the war. Though not a war before this, back in the war. Though not a war correspondent, apparently. Apparently he was one of those guys who only found a true calling after getting after their first job, soldiering in his case, was over. There were 20 hostages in total, all of them civilians, some of them former military men. Half of them were kneeling in the room before the cameras. Half of them were in some big closet, like room down the way, probably their ears to the door. They were under guard, like these people. There were gunmen all over the room. The cameras could interrupt. The cameras were still connected to the functional. The broadcast system the terrorists set up would allow them to overjack local TV stations that the authorities and the people in charge of the assault on a defensive ring would be watching. And even if they weren't watching, they'd soon be informed by those who were. Irving already had two picked out that he wanted to kill. One was a 19-year-old nursing student, fairly pretty, with nice legs, long legs. The other was, she looked like a good old Zetan girl. The other was a much older man, older and more masculine fellow in his 60s. Fat, gray-haired, balding. He would be the second shot. Irving was only planning on killing the nursing student and the man whose occupation was in construction. Almost ashamed to kill him, as there'd be a lot of work for him after this incident was over. They had really turned a good chunk of Zeta's capital into ruin. That's where the Irving didn't consider till later that the nurse student would have had plenty of work too. Many people were still going to be hurting in Libertyburg long after this was over. Irving took a look around the room. He motioned to his men to get the two pair to kill. There's one to 10. He'll separate from the others by about a meter, a few feet. They were left kneeling. Irving took up position right behind him, the proper executioner distance and stance. He had a DD-44 pistol, 50 cal in nature. It was quite a potent pistol, probably a little too potent for a pistol. It was able to punch through armor, and so on. He was pretty sure it would go through the nurse's head pretty quickly. Is that camera ready? Are the cameras ready? Irving asked the crewman. Yes, they replied. Quickly. Irving looked to the station crew. The guys who were going to get this broadcast through Libertyburg. Well, and you guys ready? Yes. The crew? Yes. Ready. Ready on your go. They replied. The nurse looked up to Irving. Please, I have a family. I said. You have them at 14? Irving asked pitilessly. I have a sick mother, a sick sister. Please. Nurse continued. Just shut up, Irving ordered. It'll be over quick. You just button your lips. The old man then rather brazenly spoke up. Please, sir, I'm old. I got nothing. Just let her live. The old man said. Take me and somebody else. Somebody else, young or old? Ring asked. He looked to the people he had assembled. Besides the old man, the oldest chair. He looked around 50. Irving supposed 50 was too young to die like this. Someone old. Don't kill young. Please. The old man begged. And Irving almost agreed. Almost capitulated. He almost had that nurse carted off and placed by that 50-year-old, but he didn't. He realized that he had to be harsh. That he had. This girl was a necessary sacrifice to get those troops off his back. That he had focused their energy on the hotel. Did I call it a hospital by accident earlier? Roll the cameras, Irving yelled, not even addressing the old man to threaten him. Get the heck job ready. Irving's crew got the ball rolling. He was soon being, within a minute, he was being broadcast on a dozen stations across the city and 5 outside of the city in the rest of the state. He was... There were... Let's see, there were... Let's see. He would have been on even more stations had they not been taken out either by the Jade or the Zedin troops. They were broadcasting with their own resources. No help from the Jade, who had an impressive network of hackers behind them. They had most of the security cameras in the city under their control. And the Zedin hackers weren't having any luck breaking that control. Okay, on that note, folks, Avita Zane, sayonara.